Hello everybody, welcome back to our weekly high score session at 814 Lanes and Games. Joined by Mr. Armani, my name is Chris, and we are going to do some shout outs for bowling the week of January 29th through February 5th. We'll get started with the Sunday night Muds League, where Brian Miller had the high scratch game, bowling a 224. He was followed closely by Fred Willison with a 222. On the women's side, Janet Chippy led all bowlers with a 182 scratch game and a 481 scratch series.
In the Monday morning Alley Cats League, Emily Boxler had a 179 game, and right behind her was Pam McCall and Robin L., both with a 177 game. Vanessa R. had a 459 series.
In the Monday night Penelec League, had some high scores. Joel Varchol with a 218 game, Josh Blackford with a 227, and Scott Strensky with the high 239 game.
In the Monday night Portage Area 10-pin League, Andy Andrio Jr. had a 258 game with a 613 series, and Luke Myers had a 225 game with a 632 series.
More nice bowling on Monday nights in the Businessmen League. Jay Penrod with a 218 game, Brian Racco with a 228 game. Larry Parks had a 611 series, but Bill Freewald led all bowlers with a 230 scratch game and the high 648 scratch series.
In the Tuesday morning Dogwood Hits League, Lynn Delick had a 187 game with a 460 series, and Judy Hafer had a 172 game with a 465 series.
In the other Tuesday morning league, the Toppers League, some great bowling by Sandy Mirabile with a 205 game on her way to a 527 series, and Kim Najar with a 209 scratch game on her way to a big 572 scratch series.
In the Tuesday night 10-pins League on the men's side, Courtney Marley had a 255 game with a 638 series. Randy Houston had a 226 game. Both Dave B. and Michael Hammers had a 225 game, so they were right behind Randy. Michael also had a 607 series, and Tom Tanaka had a 632 series. And for the women's side, Tina Hearn had a 198 game with a 509 series, and Mary Lou Murray had a 194 game with a 530 series.
In the Thursday night mixed league, Tammy Honkus with a 170 scratch game, Eileen Potts with the high game and series, bowling a 199 en route to a 448 series. On the men's side, Bruce Thomas with a 217 game, and Brian Burkhart with a 218 game.
In the Wednesday morning Domestic Engineers League, Shirley Dickard had a 165 game with a 449 series. Doe Blackburn had a 156 game, and Judy Blackburn had a 148 game.
In the Wednesday night Shamrocks League, Karen Buzzard had a 153 game en route to the high scratch series. She finished with a 423 this week. And Allison Skovensky with the high 176 game. She had a 423 series as well. On the men's side, Ron Kramer with a 211 game.
In the Wednesday Nighters Mixed League on the men's side, Sam Walker had a 529 series, and for the women's side, Terry G had a 204 game with a 554 series.
In the High Priority League, in the High Lanes on Wednesday night, Joe Pippin with a 226 game, Bear Wagner with a 228 game, and Alan Ashby with a 238 game. Mike Finnegan had the high series with a 604 this week.
In the Thursday Night Sportsman League, Jason Griffiths had a 265 game with a 645 series. Craig Sickon had a 257 game with a 606 series. Brad King had a 226 game, and Randy Wingard had a 614 series.
In the Teachers League on Thursday night, some nice bowling. Steve Kramer with a 213 game. Sean Jacobs with a 224 game. And George Englert with a 234 scratch game. And Sean Jacobs led all bowlers for the series with a 627.
In the Friday night men's league, Larry Beamer Jr. had a 276 game with a 679 series, which that was the high for both game and series of the week. And Scott Keyser had a 241 game with a 600 series, and Bob Waters had a 601 series.
In the Friday night middle of the road league, Rhonda Krentz with a 224 scratch game on her way to a 573 series. Nice bowling. On the men's side, Bob Antisberger with a 225 game, Luke Kornbros with a 226, and a Michael McLean with a high 234 scratch game. Luke Kornbros finished with a real consistent 633 series.
In the Friday night Sandbaggers League for the men's side, Paul Hoffer had a 256 game with a 671 series. Paul Freeman had a 209 game with a 555 series. And for the women's side, Becky Freeman had a 155 game with a 391 series, and Heather R. had a 144 game with a 401 series.
And in our Saturday morning youth league, nice bowling by Olivia with a 111, Cheyenne with a 122, and Tori with a big 145 game. Zach Grove led all bowlers with a 222 game and a 635 series. Nice bowling by all of our league members this week. We'll be back next week with some more high scores. Until then, good luck and high scores.